All right, folks. Plus combat 51 millimeter. Today, figured let me get situated here and not cause an avalanche and knock my desk over. This desk actually has held up pretty well. But I figured I'd run down my EDC today because I was on a video I'd commented on a few months ago. And I'll see the funny thing is with YouTube, how it is nowadays, is I can make a comment on a video and people can reply to it and talk on it for weeks and months, and I never get a notification at all letting me know like, hey, there's people talking to you or giving you likes and stuff. Because YouTube's just been doing that recently. I don't know if it's the whole shadow ban shit, because like oh, you make gun stuff and all that, so it's whatever. But I go back to that comment because every once in a while on comments like that, comments will come through, and they will. Yeah, I would. You'll be surprised at how many likes and stuff you get. So I got a comment on that, a recent comment, and they was asking how I have my SP01 set up. There was other people in disbelief that I carry an SP01 at all as a EDC pistol, and I understand for some people, weight is a factor for some people. So a full size pistol like an SP01, it is heavy. May not be the best solution because the weight might be more noticeable than say another pistol. I have no problem carrying the SP01 personally. I carry a full size 1911 as well, and that's the other one. People always say, oh, don't carry a full size 1911 because they weigh 500 pounds and they'll pull your pants down and all that. But I walk around with mine, my Rock Island Armory, all day, no issues whatsoever. So let me take a quick swig of some cherry Pepsi here. I'm not sponsored by Pepsi. It would be cool, but they would probably cancel me or end their sponsorship with me pretty quick because of how non-progressive my content is, which is all right by me. Anyway, here it is. This is the safety model CZ75 SP01, and I will unload it because I always keep my pistols loaded. Wait a minute. Let me drop the mag first. Having a brain fart there about the. Okay, so apparently it didn't take one up. So we're good. Last time I unloaded it. Alright, so this is the safety model CZ75 SP01. And the reason I went with the safety model is because everybody says, and it's true too, everybody says the safety model has the better trigger from the factory over the decocker model. Now I'm going to go out on a limb and say I probably put near 1,000 rounds through this pistol because I've went through a lot of 100 round boxes with it. And it's so addictive too, because once you get out on the range and start shooting, it's just like a big 22. I know I've used that argument with the AR before, but once you get a lot of ammo, it don't take long to go through several mags of this. But the trigger's fully broke in now, so that's a benefit. If you get a CZ75 SP01, that's the safety model, the trigger will break in that initial creep, because this thing had a lot of creep when I first got it. Let me see here. How am I going to do this? There we go. This thing had a lot of creep. I mean, it still has some, but it's a lot better now than it was. But anyway, enough about trigger break-ins. What I've got set up on this is a Olight Boulder Pro 1350, and it's the light laser model. Well, obviously light laser, but it's got a green laser, and it's burnt bronze color, And I did that intentionally to match the G10 cool hand grips that I bought for it with. These are really aggressive grips. They really help, especially if you got a glove on. And then I added aggressive track tape to the front and back as well. So this thing, you can really get a hell of a good purchase on it. Also has tritium. Glow in the dark sights. I turned the laser on there, so I may as well run down how the laser looks. Of course, I've done this before, but this video is for new people. You have not seen my content before, but anyway, that's light and laser. Got my D.O. Holy Diver poster up there. And I'm aiming at Murray. That's light laser. Light. And laser. Also has a strobe mode. Yeah, this video is not going to be photosensitive safe, so I probably should have put a warning up before. Although that wasn't long enough to bother anybody. But yeah, that's the pistol in itself. And the safety is ambidextrous on both sides. I've not done any internal upgrades. I've not changed any springs or firing pins or sears or triggers or trigger springs or nothing like that. I plan to. I'm going to run this thing as close to factory on the inside before I change anything to it on the outside. But other than that, it's a great pistol. Absolutely love this thing. It is a tack driver. It shoots better than me. And I know for a fact because I have problems with my right wrist. And I kind of pull off to the left. But I've noticed I got a group up on the wall back there. Because I like to put... I make my rifle targets into posters, as you can see with that one right there. That's when I shot my Glock and AR-15 Black Iron Ordnance AR into at the cabin. So, but looking at my group up there, I am improving because even though the shots are to the left, most of them are inside a big black circle, which is better than when I first started. So it's all in technique and the such. And the holster I have for it is made by Craft Holster. And this holster is specifically designed for this pistol with this light and laser setup. And it is an outside the waistband. Oh, about dropped it. I'm uncoordinated today. Probably have to do with the fact I woke up early and couldn't go back to sleep. Pray for me tomorrow at work. It's going to be hell. But I have it set up for outside the waistband because I don't know about you, but putting that on the inside would be a bitch. I'm usually always wearing a flannel shirt or a Hawaiian shirt in the summer. So that way I just throw one of those on over top of it. That in Indiana is a open carry state. So there's not really no big issues there. It's not like somebody's going to get on to you for having a pistol out in the open. But I understand that for, there's always that argument too that if you're open carrying and something is about to happen, the bad guy is more likely to target you, and I'm aware of that. But like I said, I'm almost always wearing like a Hawaiian shirt in the summer because I just like the way those look now, or a flannel shirt. So I usually always have something on out in the public anymore when I'm carrying this, just for the reason of keeping this concealed and my other pistols. But all in all, it's a great pistol. Not for the faint of heart to anybody who's weight sensitive. My recommendation, if you do want to carry one and you don't know if it's right for you, I suggest just carrying it around a little bit while you're like at the range or at home. Get a good belt and a good holster. You should be good to go. But to go further into my EDC, I'm just going to leave this unloaded because I had thought about unloading it and then putting it back up, but I'll keep it out because I may pull it back out and talk about it some more here. As for knives, because I have like 3 different types of knives that I carry. First one is this Smith & Wesson folder. Now I forget the actual name for this. I have it saved on eBay because I plan to buy some more of them. This is actually a really good knife. You wouldn't think it when you first look at it, but this dude is razor sharp. And it holds an edge too when you do add, some sharpening techniques to it. If you strop it, which is where you take a belt and run the blade along the part of the belt that's not got the smooth texture like the inside of the belt, you can really sharpen one of these bad boys up in a hurry. It's a very handy knife, and it don't get in the way, and it is one of the only knives that I have in my collection where the pocket clip hasn't came off, so that's a plus. And it's got this really good grip here, G10 grip, that came with. I'm sure you could probably get some custom ones, but it's a pocket knife. I mean, do what you want. I may look into some custom ones, see if I can change the color. But as it is, it's perfect for me, and I plan to get a few more in case I lose this one, because I did lose it for a while. And it freaked me out because I'm like, oh no, my good pocket knife is gone. But I found it, thank God. So that is one. This is one knife I carry, depending on where I'm going. This one's a very good utility knife as well if you need to like open stuff. So this one's kind of more of an all-around knife. You could use it for self-defense, but you could use it for a various multitude of other things. So that's good to have on board along with the pistol and all that. My other knife that I carry, now this one's more area specific depending on where I'm going, is a K-bar short. This is a newer K-bar. I've got 3 of them. This one being the 3rd one. This one is the short one that is based on the full-size K-bar, but it is smaller, shorter, which helps for handiness because the other one, in comparison, when you hold them up together, the big one and this one, the standard size one looks like a machete compared to this. I got it serrated, and this is a single mark. Doesn't have no military markings. And it's leather. I usually carry this one if I'm going to be like in areas that I travel more, or if I'm going out to the country, because out there nobody's going to question because everybody has a knife on their belt out in the country. And Indiana is a good knife state. You can carry a fixed blade knife on your belt in public. I went into McDonald's with my USMC K-bar before, out there where everybody could see it. That was before I was carrying my pistol, because the Indiana has Constitution carry, and that was before I could carry a pistol. But now, since Indiana has Constitution carry, I've been carrying this thing for 2 years now. Don't regret it. But yeah, Indiana has always been open knife carry. They don't. It used to be like the knife had to be a certain length. The handle had to be so big, and the blade itself had to be so big, but they did away with that in 2014. So yeah, I went inside restaurants with this one. Went inside restaurants with the USMC K-bar, and that one's at least about this much bigger. I could get it out for scale, but I'd have to dig it out of my my trunk that's in the floor, my foot locker, because I've got it in there for safekeeping. But yeah, Indiana's pretty lax on that. So I carry this one every once in a while. It just depends on what I'm doing and where I'm going, and if I feel like I might need it, especially wear this out into the woods for cutting, chopping, stuff like that. if I was able to take this to Amazon, I'd be able to cut through those boxes and get them open in no time. But I think the managers would frown on that pretty quick. I have seen people in there with pocket knives, so. Oops, was I not supposed to tell that part? Okay, and the other knife, I haven't carried this one as much, but I like it because it's smaller. I bought this one recently at a fall festival. I was looking at, we was going by this stand, and this fellow, he had all sorts of knives. They're beautiful, like, because this fellow, he would make them he makes them in Damascus. I'll go ahead and get it out, let you see it. He makes them in Damascus steel. Ain't that pretty? That pattern there, it's like snake scales. But yeah, a whole bunch of those on a table. And I'd already bought a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, well, you know, these knives are nice because I have several other Damascus blades. I've got 2 swords in Damascus steel. It's some good stuff. And I'm looking at all of them, and some of them don't catch my eye because, you know, some of them have those weird fantasy blade looks and all that, like where they have like 500 jagged edges on it. There wouldn't even be serrations like what was on the K-bar. It's just some weird crap. So I'm just looking at those, and I mean, those are cool and everything. And then I see this little knife here, and I'm like, you know what? That would actually be kind of effective if you had to use it for self-defense or whatever. And I asked him how much he wanted for it, and he said $15. Because the fellow wasn't from here. I'm assuming he looked like he was from Vietnam, which is cool. And so I pulled out $15, a 10 and a 5, and gave it to him. And he was like, thank you, see you next year. So I have to go back next year and buy some more of his knives. But anyway, this is a very nice knife. I love the white grip part there. I believe it might be antler. And it's got these blue sections here. This looks really pretty. And it's got a loop here, but the best part I like about it is when you thumb that blade, it catches your skin, and this thing is razor sharp on both sides. So even though it's got pretty design on the blade, it's got nice looking handles. You know, it's a showcase knife for sure, but you could also defend yourself with it, and that's what I like. And a knife like this is very much a dagger style knife. It's got double-sided blades. So this is specifically for self-defense. And I have had this on in areas where I feel like, you know, not necessarily thinking I would get jumped, but in areas where, you know, if I did, I could just, because this one doesn't have a thumb breaker, you just pull it out. If it's on your belt, it's good to go. Of course, you got to get down in there like that. But yeah, this thing is, that's the sole specific purpose of this knife here. This isn't a utility knife, and you certainly couldn't use it to, you know, for like functions like cutting cardboard boxes and all that, because it's double-edged. This is specifically for self-defense, and it's short for that up close and quick slashing movements that you would need. So I like it for that. And it's eye-catching. It's got beautiful design on the blade and beautiful hand guards, hand grips, but it's functional, and that's what I like. So most people would see that and think, oh, that's just an old hunting knife. Well, you're not using it to gut a deer per se. Hopefully never have to use it to gut anything, but it's there in case I need it. So that's the 3 knives in my primary pistol. This one is my primary pistol. I've got 1911 as well. You know what? Wow. Let me just put this up because I keep taking it out. Get my 1911 out as well. Let you guys see it. This is a Rock Island Armory 1911. It's just bare bones, basic. It looks like the World War II one. Of course, everybody who's, watching my channel for a while, they're familiar with my firearms. But I made this video for new people. And this one, I put a muzzle brake on it. This is actually a really nice pistol as well. Put a front grip on the front. I do believe these were Wilson Combat front checkering insert. And then these are some Cocobolo wood grips I bought off of eBay. Can't remember the company or the name of the manufacturer. I just seen them and bought them. May have been a private seller. And I've not done anything on the inside of this pistol either. And the trigger, of course, on 1911s. I love a trigger on 1911. I carry this one as a secondary. Usually carry this one for if I'm going into areas that I'm more familiar with. Kind of like the K-bar. Like if I'm just going around town, or mostly just around the house, I'll have this one. I don't really carry this one long distance. That's because it's I've got my pistols assigned to different things for when I do carry, like in my head. Like the CZ75, for example, would be like my go-to all-around pistol. And this one is for if I'm going out and about, but I'm not intending to go long distance or go too far from the house. Like say if I'm going to Walmart down the street or to KFC or wherever I happen to be going, but I don't intend to be out too long. That's what I have this one for. Because it's still a very effective pistol. And people shit on it all the time, and I just don't know why. Although I'm the kind of guy that enjoys all types of guns. So, but anyway, that's been my EDC. Oh, the ammo. I as well specify the ammo I run in the CZ. My self-defense load is these SIG M17 9mm NATO 142 grain plus PV crowns. My CZ75 SP01 absolutely loves these. Absolutely loves that ammo. It grouped that tighter than other stuff I've shot. Most stuff I run through it now is just for planking and having fun, but I buy that stuff for self-defense. I need to buy a whole lot more of it. And then in the 1911, I do believe I have some of these Federal 45 ACP punch 230 grain jacketed hollow points in it. It shoots these pretty well too. Shoots them halfway decent. My 1911 has a sight issue, particularly why I don't carry it that much. I mean, I carry it, like I said, in areas I'm more familiar with, but there's something wrong with the irons on it. It shoots very far left and the sights are non-driftable, so man, you can still hit stuff at about 10 yards, but anything more than that, you're kind of pissing in the wind, and you got to hold way off to the right to hit what you're aiming at. So that's particularly why I don't carry the 1911 as much, but it's still effective enough to where I carry it as a secondary. And then my third pistol, may as well just go ahead. Of course, everybody knows my third pistol is my Glock 19X. And there went a bullet down into the floor. But I have this, and I'm going to make this an EDC pistol too. I'm going to make this kind of like maybe in the same role as the CZ75 SP01, but for like if I'm going into areas that I'm not familiar with, or if I just want to have, a Glock on me. I mostly just bought the Glock because, I mean, I've always wanted a Glock, but I bought it mostly because the magazines and parts for it are so, common. And it makes a good backup pistol if my CZ or 1911 go down. I mostly just bought this one because everybody has a Glock. It's the most popular pistol in the U.S. And, you know, it wouldn't hurt to have one because mag commonality. And they're just super, super easy to use. This was a Glock 19X. And it's got ambi. It's empty. It's got ambi slide release on both sides. So, I haven't got a holster for this one yet. And I will. Might get a light laser combo for it. There's some other things I want to do for it. But for right now, it sits at home defense mode with this 33 round stick mag in there. And if anything happens to go off, which I hope it never does, it's just there ready for me to grab off the desk and start going to town. I have to pick that bullet up off the floor here in a minute. And that's pretty much it. So anyway, guys, that's been my EDC setup for the CZ75 SP01. And I showcase some of my other pistols and stuff I've got going. So until the next video, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace. Now, let's see if I can turn this dude off here. Hopefully it recorded all of that. Nope. Well, it did, but it didn't.